One. Hello, hello, and welcome to the first ever Conversations with Ayana. I know dope people, I have dope friends, and I have my brother with me today. And we are on it popping because he is hilarious. Because why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I just love your energy. Just love your energy.
So let me introduce you to this gentleman. This gentleman is my brother, one of three. He is the one I've known the longest. We're going to call him Coach Rick, Coach Cabrera. He is Ricky to me. So if I use that term, it's a term of endearment, and only a few people actually call him that. Ricky, thank you for being my first guest on my podcast. This is something I've been pushing towards, and I'm just happy that I get to start it with you. You've been a supporter of me in all ways and calls me out on everything.
Sis, thank you for having me. It's a blast. Let's have a good time.
All right, so just a little bit about what he does today, but we're going to go back. Okay, so today, Rick is.
Call me Ricky.
Okay, Ricky is the head basketball coach for Northwestern State University. He has over, 28 years of coaching experience? 26 years of coaching experience, and he's not 50 yet. So he's been doing this a very long time. Basketball is a love language to him. So tell us about your love language. When did it begin?
When I graduated from college with my undergrad in 2001. No, I'm sorry, 1999. I'm sorry. I played professionally for a couple years in Dominican Republic, our other half of our country. And, I had a chance to go, overseas but I had a daughter who's your niece. She's, 28. But I didn't want to go overseas, right? And be away from her. So, it was a tough decision for me, but it was something I had to do. And if I couldn't play it, I needed to coach it. And, just seeing my dad, our dad coach and my high school coach and, a lot of people that I looked up to in coaching, and it was something I wanted to do to impact some young men's lives. And in 2000 is when I started coaching, and
here we are today.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go a little further back. So that's your love language of coaching, but let's talk about the player, Rick, not Coach Rick. Ricky. When I say that, Ricky, what's the first thought that comes to mind?
Frederick Douglass, basketball tournament on Saturday mornings, 103rd Street.
In Columbus Avenue. One of the best basketball. It helped mold me, into the player that I was. It was great memories. I tell my boys every day, I don't brag about myself, people. I don't. But I let my boys know, I said, hey, your dad was a bad dude when he was young. And we got the opportunity to go back and visit and see it. And it brought back some great memories. And I'll never forget those. So, I'm all about funny stories and laughing, because when we're together, we're going to laugh. So when I said Ricky, he always brings this story up of he was playing and what happened.
All right. I think I was maybe 8, 9. I don't remember. But we were playing so our league was on Saturday mornings. And we were playing a game. It was a very intense game. And I was just in the zone, people. For basketball people that know what a zone is, that means I couldn't be stopped. And it was a packed crowd. It was like a 8, 9-year-old game. And like I said, I was in that zone, and the crowd was just yelling, Ricky. And it was one of the best moments of my life. And obviously I was a kid. But I still remember that like it was yesterday.
So his memory and mine, we have two different thought process on this. I just remember always yelling at his games. And did you hear me when I was yelling?
Absolutely. It was a small gym.
It was.
Yeah.
My kids struggle with that to this day, hearing me yell at games. So you, your love for it
for yourself started, at a young time. Your love for basketball, however, began because of who? Who gave you that, like, who gave you your basketball? Who put it in your hands?
Oh, I mean, it was our father. He took me to Riverside Park when I was 5 and taught me how to make a layup. I'll never forget that, off one leg. And ever since then, I'm here.
Riverside Park did a lot for us. What else did we do at Riverside Park?
Oh my gosh. So when our dad would come in the summer during our, he was playing professionally overseas, and he would come to New York in the summer and spend time with us. He took us to Riverside Park, where there were some baseball fields. So we would play basketball, and we'll walk over to the baseball fields. But this day, we just went and played baseball. It was me, my sister Ayana, and my dad. And we had hard balls. It wasn't a softball, and they had like a big wall, like kind of like the where the Boston Red Sox play. It's like the Green Monster, but it was a big wall. And I was pitching, and and I think my sister was in the outfield, and my dad was batting, and it got competitive, and like I threw a good pitch at him, and he cracked that ball over the wall. And as he would, our dad was very very competitive.
That's where we get it from.
And as he's running around the bases, he's laughing. And I'm on the pitches now, and I just fall out crying. I was so mad that he hit a home run off me. And with that park, we drove by that park and saw it's completely different, but the frame is still there. So you just see so many memories that we'll never forget.
Yeah, New York City. So just, he may not know this, but that's where my skill came from for play softball. Because I was actually playing short or second, and he was hitting the ball to us. And when I reached over and snatched the ball, we had gloves too, and I snagged the ball, Daddy was like, hey. So I went and played softball in high school for one of the most competitive, schools at the time, Manhattan Center for Science and Math. So Dad was very instrumental in putting a bat, a ball, basketball, just introducing us to the love and competitiveness, because we are nuts. Now, we're nuts. I'm a nut in the stands, even when he's coaching. So I get to see him coach live more now than ever because he's closer to me. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he's in Natchitoches, Louisiana, which is about 3 hours and 25 minutes. And his conference is in the same conference as my alma mater, East Texas State University, or East Texas A&M. So I get to come and see him coach. I just want to know, sir, why you be cursing like that?
Oh, man. You know what? I don't enjoy doing it. I have to be more disciplined. There's other ways to communicate to players and the referees. But my players know that I love them. Referees don't.
And they should.
And they shouldn't. But, we have a different relationship. So, but I need to improve that, because cursing isn't good. That's not good for your vocabulary. But, and my son is on the bench and he hears it. But sometimes they need to hear a word, because it kind of triggers their mind, to get their act together. So
let me say this, just so y'all understand, he has to do that, because sometimes they be acting out. And when I'm watching him on ESPN Plus, I'm texting, he can't see, like, so it's, I'm really just playing with him because I watch him coach, and I know, there are not very many coaches out there these days that believe in developing humans, good humans that are going to be good for society. And this is what he does with men. When, they get married, they invite him and Danielle to weddings. When they have babies, they make sure that he's aware. When they get, promotions, whether it's in the NBA or playing overseas, they're coach. So that is a reflection of the type of coach you are. When did you realize, or better yet, who was that coach to you? Did you have a coach like that? And if you didn't, is that why you are who you are?
Yes, I did. Joe McGinnis was my high school coach at Albertus Magnus in New York. And he came in my junior year. and he just kind of took me under he coached me really tough, really hard, but he took me under his wing just to make me a better player. And when I went off to college, every time I would come back, he would always work me out, and he played for Coach K at Duke. I'll take that back. He played for Coach K, who was at Duke, but he played for him at Army when Coach K first got into coaching. So his tough coaching kind of helped me say, hey, I think I can do this. But I felt the impact that he gave me, and I enjoyed being around that. Just growing up. And my dad coached. I didn't get to see him coach as much before I got into coaching, but his impact in coaching was there as well.
Okay. We're going to cut this section short in a little while, but before I go, you mentioned something a little while ago about my nephew being on the bench with you. How is that? Like, wait, let me say this. I get to watch him because on ESPN Plus, they like zoom in on him and he's just bringing the chairs out. He's going crazy, just dancing, whatever it is. But how does that feel to have one of your sons who is connected in that way be able to be on the bench with you as a head coach?
Great feeling. I wish I could have all three of them, at that age, but the timing of things just didn't work out like that. But one thing about Landon is that he, he's not on the bench because I want to have father-son time with him.
Because you're not having father-son time at that time.
Yeah,
you're working.
It's business.
Yeah.
But he's on the bench. I allowed him to be on the bench because of his, he has strong interest in basketball. He understands, he understands when he needs to stay away, when, you're like this. I don't know if I ever told you this, but if we have a bad first half and we're walking back to the locker room and I'm not happy, he'll ask me, he said, Dad, you want me to stay in the locker room or out?
Oh.
And so that's his maturity of understanding the field, because he knows I may say some things that I don't want him to hear. Mm-hmm. But just seeing him there, and getting the attention that he deserves. Sometimes it can get a little embarrassing when he's dancing. But I'm in the huddle coaching. I don't know he's dancing until I watch film or until all the fans tell me after the game. But he only dances when we win or are winning.
Yes.
So that's the discipline he has. And, and that's why, I'm fine with him staying there. Okay. Our players love him. Our coaches love him.
So I have two more nephews. My only nephews come from him, like his only nephew comes from me. So the other ones, Jaden is the oldest, and he actually is.
He's a freshman at Northwestern State University.
So one day I'm watching ESPN Plus, a game at home, and my nephew, the oldest, is in the stands with his fraternity brothers, and he's dancing, rocking out a little bit. I'm just like, oh my God. He was not a basketball person. He played soccer. He was really good at soccer. But just he was involved in that. And then the other nephew, Braxton, is a sophomore in high school. And, as a coach, how does it feel to watch your son go through maybe not the same way you went through in basketball? Meaning, your journey, his journey is a little different than your journey. How does that make you feel? And how do you feel about him as a player?
Well, I feel about, his approach of growing up, a little different. Selfishly, I would love for him to kind of go the route that I have in some way, but that's not life, and, I would never say he's had it great. He's been privileged, we raised our kids up right and they've lived in nice houses and everything, but Braxton has a grit to him, the competitiveness that we have. Braxton cries when he loses. Braxton wants to win at everything he does, and just seeing him grow, it's crazy seeing your kids grow. Number one, you're like, oh my God, he's almost a young man. Mm-hmm. But just watching him grow, he's a sophomore now. He didn't play much on the varsity. Started on JV, but he has to change his trajectory. And as a dad, I gotta kind of wean him off the video game a little bit. But he does love to play. Yes. He doesn't give me any issues to work out. But I want to see him have success because he puts the work in, biasly, I think he's a really good basketball player.
I do too.
But he can't get comfortable. He just has to continue to put that work in.
That is so fair. So finally, now because we'll have more of this, but it's going to be in this section. But growing up in New York City compared to those kids of, there's a lot of us that grew up in the hood, and I'm going to put that in quotation marks, where we were in the city, and our kids are now in the burbs. That makes a difference, especially when it comes to basketball, because what could we do when we were kids? Pick up the basketball and go to the court and play strangers, play people around the block, play this, play that. And your game was different than those that had structured, maybe not a lot of pickup ball. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that making sense?
Absolutely.
So, like, where do we fit that in? And I'm asking this because I have a 12-year-old where I'm just going to take it. Like, my thoughts is take him to the rec and drop him off and let him play with just some boys. Like, be there and let them just get that physicality, because all of the kids I see now want to do is, like, they want shots. They want, I'm old, y'all. They want reels. They want those, they want a 3-point pull up from Never Neverland. It's just Steph Curry it or something. How do we how do parents out there get these kids to stop doing that and get them to understand that basketball is more than just pulling up from half court?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't even know if I have an answer for that. And like, I tell you why. In 2025, there's just so much to do for these kids. And, when we were growing up, we had a love for something that we enjoyed. It was and we didn't have a lot to do.
True.
Like, we barely had TVs. I'm talking about our experience. So being outside was the it. And, and that was our to do.
Take them outside is kind of what you're saying. Get them exposed outside of take the devices outside of their hands.
Yeah, and also communicate with your kids and just ask them, hey, do you love playing?
Do you love playing?
If they give you any type of hiccup of loving to play, say, like I always tell my players, if you like this game, I don't want to coach. I don't want to coach anybody that's dating this game. I want someone that's married to this game, that loves this game. So back to my point, ask your kids that, hey, like, do you really want to be good at basketball? Do you love this game? The minute they say yes, like, then you say, you have to allow me to help you get to where you want to go.
Fair.
If you like it, I'll still allow you to play, but I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to do this, do that. So communication and wording is very important today because there's just so much to do, so many distractions, and I've dealt with this with my kids as well, but, we'll see how it goes.
Well, that is going to be the end of this first segment. There's so much more that we could discuss because we laugh a lot. And as the oldest, so just so you understand, I am the oldest. He is the bigger. Get it? And we were we were tied at each other's hips for a long time. Like, I bit his toe. He don't remember that because he was a baby and I didn't like him. That's probably where it started, where we didn't want each other touching each other.
Everybody always blames me.
No, I bit his toe. No. So we thank you for watching this far. We'll be back later for part 2. Thank you so much.